So welcome to the end of the 2037 season. Winning our second title last year, can we regain the Norwegian title for the first time? You are about to find out.
This is just an intro, you better believe it. Jesus, that was bad. Well, welcome to the series.
So firstly, if you are enjoying this series, make sure you do go down and hit that like button. Make sure you do comment below. Let me know you are enjoying it. As you can see, we've ended the season 23 million in the red. Now, we did sign that 40 million defender, which we showed you in the last video. And yeah, definitely dented our bank balance a little bit. So in terms of transfers, we only made one more transfer in over the whole season, and it was Marcus Knudsen, comes in 18-year-old from Stabæk for 5 million, and he looks a really talented player, mentally fantastic, physically very good as well, technically not a world beater, but I do think he can improve. I think it's a good bit of business for 5 million. Now, in terms of our outs, we made a bit more money as well. So if we can find them, Vedvik has left us for 7 million. It was a bit disappointing because he was our first choice defensive mid, 136 league games for us. But he just kept complaining that he wanted to leave. Whenever clubs from Asia were coming in, he desperately wanted to go, so we just let him go. He's gone on a high wage to them, so fair play to him. It's money we're going to use. Yeah, we've got a bad one here. So Juiceland has left us. Let me explain why. So this season, he was shocking. 9 games, 0 goals, 0 assists. And he just couldn't perform. And then we got offered 6 million for him, which was a lot more than we paid. And he was having a stinking time. And I just decided to move him on. I mean, mainly due to the fact that Marcus Sander has had the season of his life. I mean, he's only 17, just turned. So season of his life doesn't exactly say much. He's been a footballer for 2 years. But still, been fantastic. Now, talking about young players, in the last video I completely forgot to show you the youth intake, so we are going to have a look through some of them now. So the first one is Barson, who I do think is a very talented central midfielder. I do see him as an attacking centre mid. Let me know what you think, but he looks really, really good. The next player, coming as a winger and retrain him in attacking midfield. I think he has a lot of potential. I really do. Still only 16, determined personality. He looks good. He's already played 11 games for me this season. I have faith he could be a first choice player in the next 2 years. No question about it. Next player is Ramundo. Again, another solid looking player. Can probably play centre mid, I think, in my opinion. And then you have Darren Pierre, who could be a right wing back. I think he looks really talented. This intake was bang on. This guy's played 5 games for the first team already. Another player who near the end of the season did break in and get given some football. Gave us a chance to rest our other wing backs when we have this guy coming through in the right wing back position. We have Storber, who is a false 9, who again looks okay. Not as good as the rest. And then we have another player here in Kevin Steens, who has played 16 games this season. Only 16 years old. I've retrained him in defensive midfield. After Vedvik left, I promoted him into our first team. And in my opinion, he could be first choice defensive midfielder in 3 or 4 years. And at this point, we are going to have 6, 7, maybe 8 of our starting 11 are going to be academy players, which that feels good. That feels good that we have so many players who are starting to look very good, who could be first team players coming through our academy. Now, talking about our academy, we came in 3rd place in the league, 5 points off top, so it's not too bad. But another season without winning the league. We last won in 2032, which was a year after we won promotion. It would be nice if we can be the best under-19 team in the league, but we just keep slipping up. And I honestly think it might be because most of the best players come into the first team. Now, a couple of players from our B team I want to mention. Daniel Ascott just won a Player of the Year award. I think it was Young Player of the Year. On loan at Sogndal. You can see here 15 league goals in the top flight of Norway and now being capped 3 times by Norway, scoring 2 goals. I think it's time we move him up into the first team. So we signed him in 2035 for 150 grand. And since then, he's just been going out on loan, not really playing many games. But this year's been his breakout season with 15 goals in the top flight. So I think next year, he is going to be one of our first choice strikers. Maybe back up to Samari, maybe third choice. But one of the first team strikers anyway. And I definitely do want to also mention Joseph Wright. We did speak about in a previous episode about retraining him as a central defender, wide centre-back, and I am working on that. 6'1" now, he has grew a little bit, and I think he's going to fit that wide centre-back very nicely, especially when we are the more offensive team in games. Maybe if we were away from home against a good team in Europe, we might not use him, but I think I've made the right decision. So recapping how things went then. So the FIFA Club World Cup, we played 3 games in the group, beating Al Hilal and Benfica before losing to Club America, but I did rest a lot of our players for that game. We then beat Bayern Munich 3-0. This game blew my mind. We just absolutely dominated. And then we came against Milan and knocked them out on penalties, which saw us go through to the Club World Cup semi-finals, where we went out in extra time to PSG and our legs just fell off. Foster picked up a red card and we just couldn't get over the line, but I have to say, I was so proud with how we did. In terms of the cup, we went out in the quarterfinals this year. You can see some good games. We beat Ern Horton 11-0. Kongsvinger we beat 3-0 after they knocked us out last year. Ollesund 4-2. Moss 3-0 before losing to Sogndal 1-0. And it was a bit disappointing, to be honest. You can also see that the goal scorer was our on-loan player, Daniel Ascot. So we went out in the quarterfinals to one of our own players, basically. But now on to our league form. And as you can see in April, 1 draw, the rest were victories. In May, 1 draw, the rest were victories. In July, because we had a big drop, we had a big cut out of fixtures because of the Club World Cup. 1 draw, 2 victories. In August, we won every single game. In September, 1 draw, 2 victories. In October, 3 victories, 1 draw. And in November, 1 draw, 2 victories. So us regain our title, but also go the whole season unbeaten. It's absolutely insane, but we went the whole domestic season unbeaten. I don't understand how it happened. I think our players have just developed and developed and developed. The fact we only signed 1 player in the mid-season, the fact we have some very, very good talented players in this squad, we just clicked. If we go through our starting 11, so Neshem has become our first choice keeper this year. He's now 20 years old. 33 games he's played for us, and he's just a class above. The backline of Gerlin, insanely talented, good season. Boyle has just been fantastic in his debut season for the club. And then Amadou, who just continues to develop better and better and better. And then our defensive line of Fosdal at right wing back. Look at his attributes. Look at how he is developing. 18 years old. Every club in Europe wants him. I just keep rejecting it. And as soon as he accepts it, I throw in a new contract. Whenever he accepts that, he's not going to leave. Steens, who's developing well at 16 years old. And then Dahl Fossum at left wing back. Capped by Norway as well now. 47 games for the club, insanely good. Sander Brunn, 23 years old. He feels like he's been at this club forever. 128 games he's played for us. We paid $3 million from Valerenga. And he's just insane. And playing him in this new deep line playmaker role has been really, really good. And what we do, if I find Onaheim, he plays as Segunde Volante now. And he just gets forward and supports a bit more in that role. And then deep line playmaker drops in. And then we have Murder, who is just developing into an insanely good player, 19 years old now. Alongside Sander, who has turned 17 right at the end of the season. And look at his attributes. He's 17 years old. 17. This season's been a breakout as well for Dovjak. So he is Bosnian and Norwegian. He's played 5 times for Bosnia, so he's declared and gone to them. He's scored 12 goals in his whole career for us in the league. 8 of them have been this season in his 12 starts. He's been really, really good. He has been honestly really, really good. So I'm really pleased with him. In terms of our substitutes who we can mention, you got Andres, who I did say has come through and looks really, really solid. He's in and around the first team. Knudsen hasn't had the best season. 12 games plus 3 goals. He's learning the club and learning the players. I do have faith he could turn into a really, really talented player. Samare has been better. He has been better after his worst ever season last year with only 9. He's got 13 this year and only 21 games. That's the least amount of games he's ever played for us. You can see here, he scored 13, 22 that year. So he's done all right. And hopefully next year he can get over that 20 goals again. If not, I might actually look at moving him on. He's 25 now. But if he's only a 15 to 20 goal a season striker, is that what we want in this team when he's not getting many assists? I don't think so. I don't think so. Let me know what you think. Samara is so iconic with his save. Could we move him on? I think it would be sacrilege. It's almost use him as a rotation if that's the case. So top goal scorer then for the season, it was Samara with 21 all competitions. Medda was 16. Dovjak with 15. Foster was 7. Sander was 6. In terms of assists, Foster picked up 18 assists for us, with Fossen with 13. So them two at right wing back and left wing back have just been above and beyond what I could have asked for in terms of their ability, their quality. It's just been amazing. So in terms of how we've done detailed, in terms of possession, we're still second behind Rosenborg, still. If we can find average possession, let's see compared to everybody else. So pass completed, passes rate, there we go. Oh, we still are joint. They still have 87 as well. So both of us are still on 87% pass completion. I mean, fair play, fair play. So in terms of goals, we did improve, 64. Third highest in terms of goals. In terms of defending, look at that. 24 last season, 16 this year. 16 goals conceded in 30 games is absolutely fascinating, absolutely fantastic, and absolutely insane that this tactic continues to develop. And I am looking at working on this one here, the second one. I'm going to adjust it a lot more. I want to make my wingbacks on support and just try to build a very offensive tactic for games where we are chasing it or games where we are just by far the better team and press them high and just dominate them. Absolutely dominate them. So in terms of how Norway has done in general, Stabæk in the playoffs, that hasn't happened yet, unfortunately. But Mjøldal and Stjørdals Blink are going down. Coming up is HamKam and Kongsvinger and potentially Tromsø. Going down is Jerv, Hønefoss and our feeder club Junkeren, so that's a bit upsetting. Third tier. Coming up is Bryne and potentially Åsane. Going down is Ullern, HamKam's B team, and then also FK Vida, one of my local sides. And then from the second group of the third tier, Brann 2 won the league, so Asker going up, and Gjellersåsen, potentially, nailed that, and Fleur, Odds 2 and Molde 2 are going down. So when we talk about complete domination, you can see here, so Foster won Players Young Player of the Year. Fantastic considering he came to our academy. In terms of dream players, Foster got in here. And then Foster also claimed Premier Division's Player of the Year, with Merda coming in second and also Ascot coming in third, who is obviously our player out on loan. And honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if you don't see many signings. When we go to our B team, we have Apoko could move up and be one of our backup center defenders next year. We have Ascot will come up and be an option in the striking position. Jallo, who has been absolutely shocking, I'm selling because his attitude has been absolutely stinking. I'm glad I remembered to mention that. Ben Cruz, I can't decide if he's going to move up into the first team or we're going to send him out on loan again, but he is another option we could look at. And then we go to our under-19s. We've got Darren Pierre, who's going to continue to develop, and Wright is going to go up in our first team for next season. Then you have Musa Kone, who has spent a year in our youth team, like I said I wanted him to, where he's picked up 17 goals and 19 assists. Is he ready for our first team, or is he ready to go out on loan for a season? These are the questions I've got to ask myself going into next season, but our team is looking good. Our squad is looking good. The fact we've just gone a whole season unbeaten is something we've never done in this journey. I've caught up. I've just had to record 3 back-to-back videos because the end of 36 and the mid 37 videos, both of them recorded without audio, so I've just recorded them all completely again. But I'm caught up, so hopefully in future videos I'm going to actually know exactly what's just happened, because I'm actually going to be doing it live there and then. Whew, we are done. Thank you for watching. Hopefully all these wanted signs disappear, because I really don't want to lose all these players. I've been Paul, also known as the Northman. I'll see you next time.